In this video, you're gonna learn how to build a high-performance sales team. We built one of the highest performing sales teams in the coaching industry. This is an art, it's not luck, so I want you to listen up because I know this can change your business. Let's go. Number one, hire the right people. Now you might be thinking, Ian, I know that, okay? You might think you know that. Let's go deeper on it. Listen, when we're hiring somebody, we're really looking to make sure that we have the right people. So I want you to write this down. Hire slow, fire fast, okay? Hire slow means this. I'm looking for the attitude in a person. I'm looking for the coachability in a person. I'm looking for the hunger in a person. You're like, Ian, how do I know if I've got that in a person? How many of you leaders have had somebody show up and say, oh, I want it, I swear, and then they don't call the leads, and then they don't work, and then they don't do anything, and then they're not the needle mover, and then you waste all your time, your energy, your effort. Then it becomes damaging to you because you're thinking, is it me, is it me, is it me? It is you, because you let the person into the castle, you let the Trojan horse into the castle that'll destroy your whole sales team if you don't do it right. A lot of business owners, they start getting momentum and then they go right back to the starting line, all because of one bad hire. So one bad hire will kill the bunch. And if somebody starts to become a bad hire, then you need to get rid of them fast. That's why I said hire slow, fire fast. So I'm gonna give you a couple tips. When you're looking to see if somebody has the right attitude, how you're gonna do that is personality quizzes. How you're gonna do that is behavioral quizzes, DISC assessments. If that's not a part of your hiring process, you need to make it a part of your hiring process. We have a thing called Who Hire. It's integrated into our CRM. We built a little bit more sophisticated software behind it, but ultimately what it does is it brings somebody in and it tells me the type of personality trait that I have. It tells me the kind of person that I have, right? And also, I want to see when this person walks into the room, are they an alpha if they're coming for a sales job? Are they the right attitude that fits that right sales position? On our team for sales, we're looking for the people that can talk. We're looking for the people who can bring energy. We're looking for the people who can bring that mentality, okay? Now, if I'm hiring for an admin position, I might be looking for a certain specific admin attitude and skill set. Okay, I can build that into the software to identify who I'm looking for so I can source the right people. Okay, so attitude, I'm looking to see how that person communicates, talks, feels, vibes, what's on their heart, and then I'm gonna take it from there. Number two, hunger. I talked a little bit about this just a minute ago, and I was like, how do you determine if somebody's hungry or not? That's a really, really good one. Well, one way that we do it is we'll give you access to our training system, or the companies that we coach, we'll tell them, hey, give them access to your training system. We white label training systems for companies. And so what we'll say is, hey, give them access to the training system and then tell them, hey, in your second meeting, we're gonna go over this and we're gonna kind of quiz you on it. And this is gonna help with attitude too. So when they show up to interview number two, they pass interview number one. Interview number one, they get the password to it. Interview number two, I'm gonna go over that new hire training with them. I'm gonna grill them on some of the objections. On the new hire training that we have, the prospective hiring training, it's gonna have a few objections. It's gonna have a little bit about our methodology, what we believe, what we think, how we operate. It literally, if you just followed that and you got into the company, and you business owners listening to that, if they just could do that in your company, like if they were already hired, you would already make them more money and you would make more money. But specifically, if they show up to that interview and they're not ready, they're not prepared, they don't know anything about it, they're not hungry, get rid of them. Don't even have the interview. Listen, if they can't handle those objections, they don't know the methodology, get rid of them. Pull the training report as you're going into that meeting and look and see what they did. If you got little Johnny that's up at 12 at night, 12:30, 1 a.m. because you have timestamps, if you have our training system, and you can see when they're training, if they're up at 1, 2 in the morning, testing, growing, training, guys, you've got somebody that's hungry, I assure you. If they logged in twice, they don't want it. They're just one of these people bumping their gums, talking the shit, but ain't gonna do the shit. They're one of these guys that are just the baby seals, not the Navy SEALs. They're one of the guys that are just the pretenders and they're not the contenders. You don't want those kinds of people. You want the kind of person that shows up to that Zoom and is just ready to kill, okay? So we're looking for attitude, we're looking for hunger, we're looking for coachability. On that Zoom, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give them some feedback. And I wanna see what their face looks like when I give them feedback. Hard feedback. A good coach is gonna tell you things that you don't wanna hear, and they're going to push you to get a result that you didn't know you could get. And so ultimately, if I'm with them and I'm saying, hey, can you do it this way? Hey, I didn't really like this. What do you think about that? And ultimately, if they don't respond good, they might not be coachable. I'm looking for somebody coachable. I'm going to say, hey, on your third Zoom, I want to see you institute these things into what I'm going to show you. And on that third Zoom, if I see the same guy, he might not be coachable, okay? Within hire people, you need to set high standards immediately. We're looking for competitive and coachable individuals that are driven individuals. So, when I have somebody sitting across from me or on Zoom, I want to set the standard that they're going to have to deal with rejection. So at the end of the interview, I'm going to say, hey, I appreciate you coming to this third interview and doing all this work. I just don't think it works for you. In getting to know you through these 3 interviews, we've both spent a lot of time on this, and I've just been thinking about it. I just don't think that you're going to work for this position. And I'm going to sit back. And I'm going to say, I appreciate you, thank you. And if they say thank you and we get off the Zoom, that's that. That person couldn't overcome rejection. If they say, hey man, with all due respect, Ian, I love you. Dude, I fit in this company. I know I can do it in this company. I know I have what it takes. We got somebody fighting for it. That's what we want, okay? So have that structured interview question. By the way, I've got 100 interview questions that are within my hiring process, that are within my Who Hire portal that I can send over to you. Just text me 100 interview questions and I'll send it over. Next, use a structured interview process. Test their ability by making them have a sales pitch. Test their ability by making them go through your methodology. If they can't sell in an interview, they can't sell in the field. If they can't adapt to your methodology real quick and get hit with objections and overcome them, hey, I got to think about it. What would you say right there? Well, I don't know your product. We'll still overcome it. How would you do it? If they can't think on the spot, they're not a salesperson, okay? And you're going to have to spend your time building them into all these things, which you can do. But I'm talking about for the business owners that want to run with the right people fast and with speed. A bad hire will slow you down tremendously. So I'm going to say, all right, man, I've gotten to know you. Let's go through some sales stuff real quick. Boom, boom, boom. And in my interview process, I have it written all the way out. If you're in our ELLIOTT Training Academy, you can go through it. If you're in our inner circle, you can go through it and you can see all of these processes that we have written out. But I will send you some of them if you text me, and I'll send you over some of our interview questions. But I want you to think about this. A great vision without great people, it's irrelevant. It literally doesn't matter. You could have the best product in the world, but if you don't have a team, it doesn't matter. You can only go so far. You'll be stuck in your business forever. And that sucks, man. You can never really scale and build a business to have time. Train and develop relentlessly. You're gonna have to provide, and this is where companies will always get it wrong. 98% of companies cannot figure this out. You have to provide a proven sales process. Your team needs a reliable, structured system. Don't leave them to figure it out on their own. Do you know how many meetings I get on with founders and they're like, well, I was
the only salesperson, and I sold 6 million by myself. And then they get one salesperson, they're like, he can't even sell 60 grand. I don't understand.
You might have a lot of years doing this. You're on chapter 15, they're on chapter 1. Every team needs a championship system that they can plug and play that leads them through, like the meet and greet, the fact find, the qualify, the presentation on the Zoom, the demo, the offer, the ask, the discovery, like whatever it is, it has to be structured so that everybody gets confidence. Because what you're going to end up happening on your team is you're going to develop some 99%ers into the 1%ers who can naturally just think and sell. But a lot of people aren't going to start there. When you come into Alabama, you go into Alabama and you run Alabama's play and you get Alabama results. Okay, but there's other colleges, you come in there, you run all these different plays, it doesn't work. Like the Cowboys, their system's always broken. They're always hiring a new coach. Everything is always messed up. Okay, some of you Cowboy fans, you just unsubscribe. I'm sorry. You needed to leave anyways. But in reality, the system is what we need to be able to rely on. We need to rely on a truly scalable system that we can make sure that everybody can do. We role play daily, making training non-negotiable. A lot of teams don't practice enough, and then the lights get turned on, they don't get results, they're scared, they're timid, and we don't really know where they're at. Role-playing must be in person, and we must be able to hear how they articulate their words and hear how they say it. Role-play is one of the most important things you can do because that's how we get people to not be scared. That's how we get people to have confidence. Confidence is the memory of success. If they're in front of their peers, they can handle, I need to think about it. Here's these 3 things we get. We know that our customers typically only say a few things. A few things. Guys, can we be the best at handling a few things? Yeah, we should. But in order to do that, It's a constant development process. Next one, invest in coaching and mentorship. You know, make sure that your people have the right resources, that they have the things that are really working in the industry. They got some resources to rely on. You should have your own internal training system, but you can also combine some things that are working in the industry that they can model. If they have a bad mindset and you're not a good mindset coach, well, don't just give up on them. Let's go get them a mindset coach. How much are these players worth to you? I mean, and if you look at somebody like Tim Grover, what did the Bulls do? They brought him in to help Michael Jordan with his strength and conditioning, which was his weakness. He wasn't bigger than everybody else. He wasn't faster than everybody else. He had a dog in him that was different than everybody else. They brought this little edge in to refine his talent and to help him get better, okay? In every team in the world, like every professional team, you can look at guys like on the Spurs. You know, Tim Duncan was going through a slump and they brought David Cook in, and David Cook recalibrated Tim Duncan, and within 2 weeks, he became the NBA Player of the Week, okay? And it changed his entire career, okay? Your people could be just some information, some new people, and some new experiences away from breaking through. If you want real loyalty in your company, you're not just looking for the people that have the resumes, you're looking to build people. And this person that can build the best team, they'll always make the most money because that person is the most valuable to an organization. Establish clear goals and accountability. You got to set aggressive but attainable targets. You can't set some freaking goals that are just so astronomical, everybody knows aren't real. Set some goals that people can hit and people will hit, but also will stretch them, will push them, will put some pressure on them. Define daily targets. You have to have daily targets. Okay, what are we gonna hit today? Screw the year. We don't even have a yearly goal. You know, we have a daily goal. The daily goal leads us to our weekly goal. That weekly goal leads us to a monthly goal. And the sales KPIs in this company that we manage are calls, appointments, deals, and closed, okay? But most importantly, separate from the close are calls, are appointments. I want to see how many actions that they're taking in a day. What we did was we reverse engineered what our mid-level guys were doing, what those numbers look like, and we built a scorecard inside of our system. We do this for companies. We built a scorecard to know exactly if somebody takes these habits based on the way that we've trained them, if they take this many calls, this many appointments, it should equal this much revenue. So all we have to do is get somebody right above the waterline, and then we have to see how much they want it. Some people will just stay right above the waterline and just do a little bit about what average people do. But then there's the guys that are like, hey, I got to do 10 appointments a day. I'll do 19 appointments in the day. That person is the person that we're then going to reward and support and recognize publicly. Okay? So we're looking to reward publicly the people that are hitting their actionable targets, their actions, not their revenue targets, their action targets. Your job is to always be stirring up the team and stirring up momentum. You do that with recognition, you do that with visual scoreboards, and you do that with the way that you set up the month. Hold daily and weekly meetings. You know, we have a meeting every day at 12 o'clock because if you don't have a deal up, if you don't have a certain amount of calls up, we know you're not tracking to win, okay? So, you know, you can have a meeting every day at 12 o'clock. Hey, 12 o'clock, 10-minute meeting. We're gonna have your numbers up and we're just gonna walk through them for 10 seconds. Hey, everybody give it up for Johnny. He's got 15 calls out. Everybody give it up for Steve. He's got 5 appointments booked out. Hey, everybody give it up for him. That's awesome. Now, the rest of you guys, look at where you're at. Look at where you're at. Let's turn it around. Let's get it going. Let's get it moving. Weekly meetings, you gotta have those. And then I want you to think about this. You can't manage what you don't measure. Can't manage what you don't measure. So everything has to be measured, everything. Accountability breeds responsibility. So if you don't have any accountability, then there's gonna be no responsibility. So I want my people to be responsible. I want my people to be accountable. And I want everybody to be able to see where they stand in the responsibility category. Ultimately, I also want to see who's the next level of leaders in our company, and we're only going to promote the people that are really doing the work that don't have to be told every time. Some people have to be told 55 times. Eventually, they'll never be in that conversation of like promotion of different things, and I'm looking to see who is the most coachable players. The most coachable players in the world, they're the most accountable. Weak people think accountability is an attack. If you ever start to think accountability is an attack in this company, you're gone, okay? That's something that will get you out of here fast. Build a competitive, high-energy culture. Reward top performers. Incentives and bonuses and recognition should be built into your culture. We have competitions going on daily, weekly, quarterly. I can send some of them over to you if you're a leader and you want to know what they are. They're always competing. They're always trying to win. Create an environment of intensity. You know, you got to push people to be their best. Challenge them. Keep their energy levels high. Optimize lead flow and sales process. Provide quality leads, whether it's outbound calls or inbound marketing leads. Make sure your team has opportunities to close, but also don't focus on just quality leads. If somebody, I mean, you need quality leads, but also I see salespeople walking around all the time that are making the leads the problem. They're the problem. Their sales is the problem. The way they talk is the problem. Tonality is the problem. The accountability of not viewing their sales calls as a team is a problem. Our team knows that they're going to have to come and bring their sales calls, and we're going to have to see them, listen to them, rank them. We're looking for a couple of things inside of our sales calls. At the end of the sales calls, we're like, hey team, did they have these things with inside of our sales system? Was it our sales system? Did that work? Did we make the customers feel important? Did we make the customers feel loved? These are on every call. Listen, did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? Did this happen? Did they have this? Did they have that? Did they not have this? Let's just get better. We don't have it all figured out, but we sure as heck have a lot of accountability and a lot of expectation in there, okay? And that makes the leads better. And what happens is people click a form, they have a little itch, and it's your job to scratch it. But most sales teams can't scratch it, so most companies run around spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing, which if they just train the sales team on sales, they could spend a quarter of the money in marketing. A quarter. They just got to know how to handle the leads. Also, somebody comes in cold. You're not handling my leads, dude. Okay, you got a cold mindset. You're going to be put into a place where you're going to handle cold type shit. Okay, till you can get warm, till you can get hot, you're going to have to handle cold shit because you're cold. Okay, so as a leader, you got to establish that. Who's handling your most coveted leads? Who's handling the leads that cost you the most money? Replicate your top producers. Identify what makes your best salespeople successful and create a system to train new hires at that level. So let's say I've got Tommy, one of my top producers. I see exactly what he's doing. I've actually had him build our internal training system out. I'm like, break down everything that you do. I go to Selena, I'm like, hey, you're really good at this, break down everything you do, and we're gonna incorporate that into how our team trains. It's not just gonna be me talking to them the whole time. We're gonna replicate them. We also took their behavioral traits off of what they have in their mind, in their heart, and how they operate, and we're like, gosh, we had 10 of him, we'd be rich. So what we took was all of the things that they were scoring on, and we reverse engineered our who hire in some of our systems and our software to look for these traits. So what we could do is then duplicate these people and look for traits that they have. Now, I mean, that's easy. That's like making twins. Oh, I am a twin. This is like adding me, okay? Duplicating me. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Vince Lombardi, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase it, if we're chasing after perfecting these little things within inside of our team, what we find is this excellence. What we find is this new confidence in our team. What we find is this new momentum. What we find is this new belief. What we find is these results that we've been praying for, that we've been looking for. And then lastly, guys, you got to keep raising the bar. The moment you stop pushing for growth, your team is going to get complacent. So always be looking for who's the best in your industry. And always be looking to recruit top talent. You know, always be looking for, that B player that could be an A player that you could bring in and make an A player. Don't be looking for C players, okay? Don't be looking for people that are just fog in the mirror, okay? Don't be looking for just total projects. Be looking for people that you can bring in and it'll increase the energy and the atmosphere in your place, okay? And you always got to be doing that. So guys, build some top level teams. If you need my help, I'd love to come in and coach your sales team. I'd love to give them a sales meeting. I'd love to give you guys a leadership meeting. My number is 480-780-2203. 480-780-2203. Let's kick some butt. Let's go. All right, guys, you're the true 1%ers. You made it to the end of the video. Let's go. Like, comment so we know who you are down below, and then share this video to somebody else who needs it. And also turn your notifications on because we got the fire coming every single day. Amazing. We'll see you at the next video. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.